Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to share some information for those who watch my channel or pick it up by scrolling through Facebook. I'm going to do something a little different this year as far as fishing. Of course, I'm going to be fly fishing, and I'll post a couple of really interesting outings that we're going to be doing this year as well. But I wanted to talk about this reel in particular. This is a centerpin reel. Well, all fly reels and centerpin reels, they're all centerpin reels, let's put it that way. But this is a what's called a Keith Palmer Scarborough reel, and it's made in South Africa. And back about over 100 years ago, or more actually, probably a lot further back, Scarborough reels were very predominant and kind of peeled back a little bit for general fishing. I would say maybe back in the 50s and up to the 60s, maybe even. But these are very useful tools to fish with, and you can cast them with lures. You can cast bait out. The only thing it doesn't have is a drag system. Your drag system is your hand. And you can use gloves if you're basically going after a fish that can accelerate quite extensive speeds so you don't burn your palm. But I've done it with redfish, and they can accelerate pretty quickly. And I've actually caught a few jack crevalles with them as well. I custom make my rods to form fit with this reel, and I'm getting a lot of success. I have anything from a 10-foot to a 12-footer, and it's a lot of fun actually. But it does take some time to learn. There's not a lot of information on casting. There's a few videos on YouTube, but what I'm going to attempt is to cast and catch, just like I do with my fly fishing videos. And I hope I can give you guys some materials that, if you're interested in taking on a little bit of a challenge, this is a great way of doing it. And I think it's a very viable product, and I think not many people know about it. And I think it would be a good arsenal to put in there, especially those who want a different challenge of fishing. I have right now a couple reels that I purchased from a vendor in South Africa. It took me a while to get them. The form and the fit to these reels are not going to be, let's say, that you would see on a Daiwa or a Van Staal, of course, but they're not meant to be. They're meant to be fished and fished hard. Very, very fun way of fishing. I just can't tell you guys. It doesn't, if I had a choice picking this up and versus picking up my spinning reel, and I had to fish where there was a lot of wind, I would pick this up. And as far as the lures that I'll be using, my favorite to use with them is a Hopkins spoon. These are great spoons, very versatile. This is a shorty. I think it's a little over 1.5 ounces. And I've caught reds with this and jacks. These are some of the most versatile lures that you can use. And then you also have the Acme Castmaster, another great product. This is about around a little over 1 ounce as well. I kind of did some marks on it to give it a little bit more contrast. But yeah, and then I'll also be using some other lures that can actually fish on the surface, which will be the GT ice creams. And yeah, like I said, as long as they're around 1 ounce and a little bit bigger, with my outfits, they'll work just fine. This is a 6.5 cut down, but I'll also be using a 7-inch cut down version. There's a lot of different versions of this reel. There's ones that actually have a solid spool that kind of remind you of a wagon wheel. So these are really cool. A very simplistic way of fishing, but yet versatile way of fishing. And if you're fishing on shore and you're using lures, you don't really want to use braid unless you're using it as a backing. If you're fishing off a boat, I guess you could use it if you're just drop jigging. But for the most part, there is some limitations to it, but it is very versatile. It's probably way versatile than what people realize. Centerpin fishing, of course, is known for trout fishing, salmon fishing in the United States with a centerpin reel and a long rod. In England, they use them for carp fishing and different species of fishes, all the way from carp to grayling. It wasn't too long ago they actually had saltwater versions of these reels that were made out of metal and or stamped metal. But they kind of got away from that with the innovations of bait casting reels and spinning reels. I do believe these reels are very viable today, as long as you take the time to learn how to use them. But other than that, I look forward to getting some videos with you this year, and look forward to putting out some new content. Take care. Have a great evening.